Hi everyone, I am Suman. In this video, we're going to discuss another important operation in Pandas, that is Concat Operation. So in our previous video, we have discussed a join operation, so which is similar to that of this Concat operation. So if you didn't watch that video, I will just recommend you to watch that video first. So let's start this video. So what's the meaning of this concatenation? So in Python also we have discussed concatenation, right? In order to like concatenation of strings. So in the sense we are just combining those strings, right? So here the concatenation in the sense just concatenating, like we are just joining, we are just combining two data frames, right? So data frames or series. So that's what the difference between the concatenation which we have discussed in Python and here in Pandas. So let's see how to concat. And here you can see I've just imported the necessary libraries, and here I'll just use pd dot. If I just give tab here, so here you can see we just have the concat operation. So I'm just using pd dot concat of, and if you just see the explanation and what are the arguments in this. So you can see the arguments are objects, in the sense the things which you have to concat, right? You have to pass in the form of list format. And you can see the axis is equal to 0. So in which way you have to concat, like in the column label or row label, you have to like you can just specify that using this axis. And you can see we just have the join also, join like outer inner. And here you can see we just have ignore index, keys, levels, names. So we just have few arguments here. So before using that, first let's create two data frames. So I'm just using the data frames which I have discussed in the previous video itself. So you can see I just created data 1 and data 2. So I will just give data 1, this is data 1, and similarly this is data 2. Now let's use this concat operation. So I'm just using pd dot concat of. Here you have to mention the two data frames or like series which you have to concat in the form of list, right? So you should not pass that directly. So you can't pass like data 1. So you should not pass like that. So you should mention in the form of list, right? So first let's just print this. So you can see I just concatenated the two data frames. So when I just use concat on two data frames. So here you can see the output here. Like here you can see the output. So it just concatenated on the row label, right? So here you can see this is the first data frame, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Up to here this is the first data frame, and the 0, 1, 2 which it concatenated, this is the second data frame. So if you can see the explanation here we have the axis is equal to 0 as default. So axis is equal to 0 in the sense it just concatenate. So it just concatenate in the row label. So this is in the sense it just concatenated vertically, right? In the row label it just concatenated. So this is what the concatenation by using the default parameters. So if you just want to concatenate in the column wise, or let's say in horizontal manner, so if you can just mention axis is equal to 1 here. So if I just give enter, so you can see now it just concatenated in the horizontal manner, like in a column manner, right? So you can see id values and id values, it just concatenated column wise, right? So you can see, so nothing to explain, right? So this is the first data frame and this is the second data frame. So since there are only 3 values here, like for the other values we just given the NaN values. So that's what it does if you use axis is equal to 1. And so similarly let's try the other parameters even which is present in this concatenate. So here you can see when we just concatenated the two data frames. So if when you are concatenating, if you want to differentiate the first data frame with the second data frame, right? So for that you can just, so we have another argument that is keys. So we can just use the keys argument and you can just differentiate the first data frame and second data frame when you are just concatenating. So here you can see I've just used, so pd dot axis is equal to 0, keys equal to, I'll just mention as df1, df2. If you just do enter, so here you can see, so these are all the values of the first data frame and these are the 3 values of the second data frame. So it just differentiate the entire concat, like after concatenating it will just show you which are all data from the first data frame and which are all data from the second data frame. So you can just use this for, in order to do that you can just use this keys argument. So here you can see, if you can see the indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and here again it just started, like it just taken the 0, 1, 2, like which are the indexes of the second data frame. So if you don't want that, so if you want like continuation, like if you want the continuation of the first data frame, so like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it should continue from 4, right? Like we should get 5, 6, 7. So if you want to do that, so we can just ignore that index. So we can just give ignore index is equal to, like we can just give true here. So if I just give enter, so you can see like, so it just ignored the default indexes and it just taken the new indexes for the second data frame. So it just continued from the indexes of the first data frame, you can see that. So through the ignore index you can just do that. And similarly we have, and here we have just seen the data frames, right? So we have just concatenated the data frames. So similarly you can just do with, so you can just do the concatenation on series object also, like series also. So and also you can just do that with data frame, you can just combine data frame with series, right? And you can just do all such operations. And similarly we just have another argument like how, like join, right? We have just seen join operation. So what's this join will do means, so for example let's say if you have in your data frames, if you have an if you have overlapping columns, right? So if you don't want that overlapping column, you just want the columns which are common in between those two data frames. So we can just mention the join is equal to inner, so that it will just do the intersection operation, in the sense it will just only concatenate the columns which are common in both the data frames. So it will just remove the other columns. So that's what this, so that's the use of this join. So let's discuss this join, right? So for that I'm just using, so here you can see I just created a new column here in this data frame 2. I'll just give enter, and you can see the, and you can see how this data frame data looks. So you can see ID, values and name. I just created another column name, and now let's try to concat, right? So let's concat these two data frames and in the row label. So if you just give enter, so you can see it just given the nan values for the columns, like when we didn't use any, like when we just use the default parameters. So you can see it just concatenated the two data frames and it just given the remaining values as null values for this first data frame, right? So here I will just mention join equal to inner, right? If I just give enter, so you can see, so it just concatenated only two columns. So you can see the data frame 1 doesn't contain name column, right? So that's the reason it just eliminated that column. So that's the use of this join, right? We have already discussed in the previous video when we discussed the join operation, like inner, outer join, like inner join, outer join. So it's similar to that of that. So if you just use the in join equal to outer, so you can see outer in the sense it is an union operation. So you can see it just takes all the values, right? So that's about this concatenation operation. So I hope you understood like how to concatenate data frames, and also I just hope you understood like what are the different operations we can just do with concat, right? So we have just seen all of those. So that's it for this video. I hope this video is helpful for you. So if you feel this video is helpful, like the video, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.